Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome to another episode of Tech and Culture. I'm Jibril Ibrahim. Tech and Culture is a program where we look at various people and various initiatives that are impacting our culture as Muslims and as Nigerians. People that are using technological solutions to make our life easier. On today's episode of the program, we'll be looking at an interesting solution that has been built to help us manage communities. We are talking about being in an estate or even being in a neighborhood. Like I stay in phase 3 and we have issues collecting rent. We have issues knowing who is in, who is out. We don't even know who is coming in, who is driving out. We have vigilantes that are monitoring, that are hitting the gates and shooting in the air at night. But they don't know who are members of which family. That is because that community is not digitized. What my guest today has done is to build a platform where whatever community you have, either a shopping mall or an estate or a block of flats, you can onboard everybody and everybody will be able to plug in a code. Everybody will be able to have an access code. You can know who is coming to visit you and who is allowed to be in your place or not. And very importantly, in collection of fees and dues, you would easily be able to track how much are you paying at which point and who is owing, and it just makes life easier managing a community, especially around real estate. This is an example of tools that are used across the world, and alhamdulillah, today we are having our guest today that has built such a platform, and it's now one of the in thing in Abuja here that people are using to manage their communities. Join me in welcoming Bra Sherif Bakare, the CEO Propatize.
Thank you, Salaam alaikum. Thank you for having me. It's nice being on the seats. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So let's just dive into Propatize very quickly. You told me how one of the inspiration for it, you had a trip, and so can you just in a nutshell, let's hear where that inspiration came from?
Absolutely. So I used to live in Turkey with my family, and there was a time where, the communities, there were like 1,000 households, 1,000 flats, and then service collection seems very smooth. And I was asking myself, back in Lagos before I left, there was a struggle as to who pays, how they pay. In fact, there was actually an issue of the theft where like security guards kind of create their own receipts and then give it to, they collect money and then give it to residents. So I was like, when we talk about technology, this is what technology should be able to do, where we can digitize all the people in the community, who are the landlords, who are the renters, such that we can then automate collection of all these service charge. For places where there are theft and very high-end security risk, you could give them access control where they could automate the people who are coming in, who are going out. You could send a bulk communication, because sometimes WhatsApp is not the right place to do some of all of this communication. But from a community person to like all the residents, you want to pass an important information, you want to send documents of like maybe annual collections that you've been able to do, you could do that in one click, and then everybody receives it in their email, in their WhatsApp, and all of that. And this is not just for communities, just for estates alone. You could do it for if you're managing a couple of properties, you could do it as a property manager. You could do it as a resident association. You could do it as a facility manager. So we realized this gap and we wanted to solve it, to say, how do we make our communities more digital, more accessible? How do we then make sure that we're collecting this data and then we're also serving the community a lot better than how we're currently doing it? So yes, Turkey inspired that, because we have a tool that we use there where every month I just see on my dashboard on my mobile phone to say you're paying your service charge this amount, you're paying your heat fee this amount, and all of that. So I didn't ever need to go to the facility manager's office anymore. Every month I just saw my bill and I pay. Wow. And immediately I download the receipt. So there's nobody chasing me, I'm not chasing anybody. It makes life a lot easier, and the transparency is just there. So I've said, like, when we came back, I was like, this is a problem I notice in Africa, in Nigeria particularly, and I want to solve for it. Hence the reason why we brought Propatize. And it's been amazing, building this product. It comes with its own ups and downs because of our climate and our conditions. But when you feel genuine need, when you see some facility manager say, thank you, this helps us, or this makes our work a lot easier, then it feels good to know that you're doing something good.
Wow, interesting. I mean, for me, some of the really interesting parts is the issue of transparency, because you have sometimes somebody comes in middle of the month, or he joins, somebody moves out, another person moves in. So really, for the facility manager or even for the neighborhood to know who has left, who is in, who is out, it will really be a great thing to have this kind of tool.
Yeah. So what we've also done is, because what Nigerians, our nuances are a bit different from every part of the world. We pay service charge yearly, right? In some other places they pay monthly, and sometimes we also always want to pay, maybe twice a year. Like some people will say, I can't pay the yearly fee. Can I pay twice, or can I pay 3 times? So we've made sure that in our application you could actually determine, is this bill splittable or not splittable? Can I split this bill into 3 times or 4 times? So a facility or an association can decide how they want to split the bill for the residents. Another thing that you could also do is, the issue about somebody moving out and then owing you bills is not going to come up, because you, as an owner of the property, you have your owner's app that can see if this person is owing bill before he leaves. So what we've been able to do is, there won't be a case where a tenant runs away with your service charge if you properly digitize it. Because on our platform, you can digitize who the owner is and who is the tenant living under it. The owner would have an owner's app, the resident will have a tenant's app, or even like a web app. You don't even need to download an app. You could just go to Propatize / your community and then see. So if your tenant is owing, before he leaves, you can log in and see that he hasn't paid all this certain fee. Because if he leaves, the bill will fall into your head.
Or into the head of the next person that's supposed to.
No, it's not going to fall into the next person. It will fall into the asset.
The asset, that which is
the owner
of
the house. So when we digitize, the asset is not movable. Hence, the asset is the person owing the bill. So the flat is owing.
So whoever moves into the flat will now be stuck with that bill.
Most likely the owner.
We'll be breaking at this point for today, and tomorrow we'll continue to the discussion on how Propatize makes our communities more digital and more transparent to manage. My name is Jibril Ibrahim. I'll see you in the next episode.